Game modes are a fun way to make different styles of playing the game simpler and a lot more fun. Today, I'm going to be ranking every game mode we've had in Brawl Stars history. I've done this exact tier list before, but the video is a bit outdated and just a lot lower quality. Plus, my opinions have changed a lot in the past few months. Playing solo Showdown has become increasingly simple due to trophy reworks and matchmaking changes which removed major win trading. But with teaming or general toxicity or even camping, this mode is far from perfect. B tier. The same can't be said about duo Showdown. Teams of 2 makes teaming a lot harder to pull off. And when playing with a friend, dying puts a lot less stress depending on the situation. A tier. Trio Showdown is another game mode entirely. Having teams of 3 makes team compositions a lot more cheesy. Power cubes are less and teaming is nearly impossible, so I think this game mode is going in the A tier. I think I was a lot more harsh on this mode in my last video because of the SpongeBob special event, and the modifiers made the game mode nearly unplayable. Brawl Ball is very popular and it's easily one of the most played game modes in the entire game, and this is for a really good reason. It's very fun and it's definitely the highlight of the game's competitive scene. It's very fast paced, which makes mastery and trophy pushing very fast as well, and it's a really good way for players to get a general understanding of the game's features. Easily an S tier. Gem Grab is another well-known game mode desiring pressure, map control and patience to get the job done. With a goal as simple as collect 10 gems first, you won't usually expect the challenges you might need to overcome to win a good percent of the time. A tier. Hot Zone is a game mode I've really come to hate more than anything. As I gradually increased my skills at the game, I kept seeing the same team compositions being used over and over again, and I just found it very repetitive at most. It's definitely not my favorite mode in ranked. C tier. Heist on the other hand is perfect. It's definitely one of my favorite modes in the game, and it's because of the sheer amount of fun you can get out of playing it. I enjoy playing this game mode a lot, and it's a shame to see it get removed from ranked. A tier. But one of the most competitive modes on this list will have to go to Knockout. Being good at Knockout means a few things. You carry your teammates a lot, you have very limited brawler choice, but you have a lot of game sense. And it comes to no surprise that I'm not an expert at this game mode, so I try to abstain from it as much as possible, but it's still a good enough concept to remain at B tier. Duels is just Knockout but twice as difficult. This time, you're all alone, 1v1, best of 3 rounds against a player that 9 out of 10 times will perform better than you. Unlike Knockout, I don't need to play this game mode whatsoever. It doesn't appear in ranked and I can always reroll quests, so I don't really see the need to get good at it. C tier. Next is Bounty, one of the most infuriating modes in the game. Now don't get me wrong, I love the concept of Bounty, but a lot of my teammates have no idea what they are doing, which usually leads to me carrying the team until I eventually die, then lose because my teammates were feeding the enemy with stars. It's a very painful cycle that could easily be avoided if people actually tried. B tier. Now I'm going to quickly rank the 5v5 game modes we've gotten so far. Brawl Ball 5v5, A tier. It's very confusing at times with the extreme amount of players showing up at once, and the horizontal map is strange. Gem Grab 5v5, B tier. It's still very fun, but a lot more players lead to a lot more reasons why the match could take a lot longer. Knockout 5v5, B tier. I don't play Knockout a lot and I play this mode even less. It's not popular, it's kinda weird looking, but carrying your team is still pretty fun, I guess. Wipeout is a fantastic game mode. In terms of game design, it's definitely the most basic game mode out there. First team to get 10 kills wins. It's that simple. But it's in its simplicity that this game mode thrives. It's obviously one of my favorite game modes and I'll put it in the A tier. Wipeout 5v5 also goes in the A tier because it still keeps the simplicity of the original. Now I'm going to take a look at a lot of the game modes that were used in in-game events. No better way to start this off than with Godzilla City Smash. This game mode was incredibly terrible. It was a buggy mess and the punishment for losing was really bad. I'm going to put it in the D tier only because the original version of this game mode was way worse. The classic events introduced some really unique game modes. Drumroll, which was a refreshing new game mode with cool mechanics and a very fun goal at the end, and Mirror Match that wasn't really as fun as I remembered. I'm going to put Drumroll in the A tier, but I'll leave Mirror Match in the D tier. The SpongeBob events also came with 2 game modes. I won't go into much detail about its own Trio Showdown, just know it's going in the F tier. Jellyfishing on the other hand was very confusing. The concept was lame and the gameplay wasn't really that fun. It also had those annoying SpongeBob power-ups, so I'll put it in the D tier. The Angels vs Demons event also brought a handful of game modes. Spirit Wars was a remake of Siege, which I initially didn't find that fun, but after getting used to the mechanics, I guess I'll put it in the B tier. Soul Collector was one of the more fun game modes. It relied more on skill than those weird modifiers, and for that I'll put it in the A tier. This event did come with its own version of Trio Showdown with angelic and demonic abilities, so I'll put it in C tier. Paint Brawl was a one-off game mode that made a few appearances and it was really fun. The concepts were really creative and the mechanics were really similar to Brawl Ball. 8 tier. The Dead Game event did come with its own game modes, although none of them were really original, so I'll talk about their original counterparts later. But for now, here are their rankings. The same can also be said with the Mega Tree events. A lot of these game modes are reskins of game modes I haven't talked about yet, but for now, here are their rankings. Holiday Havoc was a reskin of Jellyfishing, which already isn't a very good game mode. I'm gonna put it in the F tier for being a shameless copy of a bad game mode. The Mega Tree event did bring back Bot Drop, which isn't the most fun game mode out there, and it's definitely not as simple as requiring good teamwork and making the right decisions. B tier. Now with most of the event game modes out of the way, we can take a look at old removed game modes, starting with Payload. Payload isn't very enjoyable and it has a lot of flaws. I don't find it very fun, but I'll put it in the B tier only because it's an original game mode. The same can also be said with Hold the Trophy. This game mode is very similar to others like Hot Zone, but it puts a unique twist to it, having two teams fight for a trophy and holding it for as long as possible. It's a very unique game mode and I'll put it in the A tier. Next is Siege, definitely one of the most confusing modes out there. It's the original version of Spirit Wars and it still has some key elements that keep it fun. I'll keep it at B tier mainly because it's not very beginner friendly. Next is 8-Bit's Last Stand, one of the most frustrating game modes in the game's history. It wasn't very popular amongst the community and it was pretty rough and buggy. Plus the concept wasn't that fun. I'm going to keep it in the F tier. The same could also be said with Takedown. Takedown was kind of a combination between solo showdown and boss fights. The concept was very confusing and the main goal sucked, and the lack of teams just makes getting the job done a lot harder. C tier. Volley Brawl was a unique and different game mode in Brawl Stars. The game mode was fun and also competitive, but it only made a few returns here and there before getting removed entirely. A tier. There's no horrible execution that could possibly as worse as a Super City Rampage game mode. This was a PvE mode that required players to destroy the big dinosaur before it destroys the city, which sounds really good on paper, but the execution was horrible. This game mode was known for being a buggy, slow and boring mess. F tier. I guess they didn't learn their lesson. Hunters is a game mode I want to see make a comeback. It looks really fun, being a solo version of Wipeout, meaning it's entirely skill based. This makes things extra competitive. A tier. The same can also be said about Showdown Plus. This was a variant of Showdown that rewarded players with trophies based off how many kills they got per match. It's fun to see competitive gameplay being executed in an enjoyable way, and I'll put this mode in the S tier, alongside Brawl Ball. Trophy Thieves, Pumpkin, Zombie and Pleasant Plunder can all stay together in the B tier. It's a decent concept, but I don't think it should have gotten 3 variations. Big Game was one of the best weekend game modes. The gameplay was very fun for both the regular players and the large brawler. The concept is also a lot more different from other game modes, which makes it pretty unique. A tier. Speaking of weekend events, the weekend events like boss fights and Robo Rumble fit right into the C tier. They don't really stand out and their concepts are just pretty mid. This might just be a flaw with weekend events, but the rewards are very lackluster. Basket Brawl should have stayed dead. As a new player, I really enjoyed playing this mode before its untimely removal. Fast forward to the arcade contest and this game mode is a nightmare. The mechanics are pretty weird and the gameplay can be frustrating. B tier. Lone Star would be total chaos if it was released today. It was kind of a mix between solo showdown and bounty, where each player got stars after getting kills, but I could see this game mode easily becoming toxic if it was released today. B tier. Now let's fast forward all the way to 2024 with Trophy Escape. Trophy Escape was very overlooked, mainly because its concept wasn't really that good. If it made a comeback, they should really expect similar results. C tier. Now let's take a look at some of the most recent modes added to the game, like the 2v2 game modes. I'd put 2v2 Brawl Ball in the A tier while the rest can go in the B tier. The 2v2 game modes weren't that innovative, as removing one player doesn't really change much. I'd put 2v2 Hot Zone in the C tier, though it was pretty annoying. Brawl Hockey was really just a mix between fun, exciting, annoying and straight up no skill. The concept was very similar to Brawl Ball, but the trick shot ability was set up to 100. I genuinely wouldn't have a problem with this game mode if it wasn't added to ranked, where the competitive nature of the game is at its highest. B tier. It had A tier quality, but the later decisions by the developer killed it. Now we have the newest game modes that were released in the current Dark Sands season. starting with treasure hunt, and I actually enjoyed this game mode a lot. I never actually played it until I started working on this video, and it was amazing. It seems to be a mix between gem grab and jellyfishing, with its own unique concepts like these pressure plates that we've never seen before. It's fun, it's fast, and it's simple, and it's an easy A tier. The other new game mode is cleaning duty, and this mode is far too similar to jellyfishing, and just like jellyfishing, I'm going to put it in the D tier. It doesn't really change much, and it's just a reskin. Anyways, that's the list of every game mode in Brawl Stars, including some of the new ones. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.